to such services, main ones. So here's our team. We've got our business owner in the middle there. We've got a very small, tight-knit group that allows us to communicate efficiently and team up with clients to create a positive experience and get their goals accomplished. So we're located in St. Anthony, Minnesota, and we love our local clients, but are not geographically limited to them. So on to what you're here for today. So crafting your digital identity, building a strong brand, and optimizing your website for success. That is a lot of words. However, you will learn it is all connected at the end of the day. So you want to go from building your business from the logo design to a digital advertising and SEO, because it's not just enough to have a logo anymore. With the increased competition, technology, and artificial intelligence capabilities, your brand and business needs to be intentional and stand out. So it needs to be more than just a good logo and a catchy tagline. It's about creating a consistent and compelling identity that resonates with your audience. You need to have an idea of what you want, but how to bring that to life. And that is what we're here to talk about today. And one thing to remember as well, the things that we're going to talk about is, and especially if you're a new business, businesses grow. And just because you commit one way doesn't mean you have to stick with it. And your business it evolves. It's not just a static thing that, begins one way, has to stay, but it can evolve over time. And just keep that in mind as you're going through and building your business, and just know there's always room for growth. So brand identity, it's pretty much who you are with less words. So it's a way to define and distinguish a business in consumer minds, and it's how your business expresses itself with marketing materials. It controls the language and messaging of your marketing materials, your advertising, the way you present yourself on your website, and also strengthens your popularity, presence, and trust with customers. So you see two businesses here I have pictured on both sides. And I don't really have the logo shown here, but we all know who they are. And so branding is a statement. It's an identifier that allows you to be recognized regardless of content and information. So that is ingrained in your products, your social media presence, your Google presence, and advertisements. Branding is a powerful tool when utilized correctly. And to be honest, if you're looking at these two companies, Apple and Target, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. They have very simple branding. Target with the bright red, the bullseye, and then Apple with the grays, just the very simple, streamlined products, and just very bold typography. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We're not saying that you need to be super out there and exuberant, but it's just about being intentional with what you're doing with your branding. So how do we build one of those? It is not just luck. It is from intense effort. A good brand has a clear focus, strong visuals, and familiar with its target audience, and is easily recognizable in a sea of similar brands. So some ways that you should be looking at in order to start building that brand identity is analyzing your company and the market. You need to know what you're providing and what the market for that service or product looks like. Number two, you need to determine your key business goals. Are you trying to sell? Are you trying to influence? Or are you trying to build a following? Each of those different tasks have a very different outcome of what your marketing materials will look like and your online presence overall. Three, a very big one is identifying your customers. Who are you selling to and why? That is going to be a huge part of building the brand identity, because that is going to control where you're marketing your materials, how you're getting those leads, and how you're presenting it, as well as the language and message that you're sending. Number four, as you learn all of those top three things, you then determine the personality and the messages that you want to communicate. How will you show up as a business? So all of these are important to building trust and credibility within your market and staying consistent if you have all of these things established before you start pushing out materials. So some questions to ask in order to build these. So starting with the company purpose. What are you trying to accomplish? Having that goal in mind is very important, because someone trying to sell commercial cleaning supplies isn't going to target homeowners. So that's an important task to keep in mind. What are you trying to be known for? Do you want to be known for your customer service, good prices, being an expert in your industry? Each of those goals is going to determine the message that you're going to be conveying to your clients. What do you think your customers need? If you do the same exact thing that the business down the road does, then what's the point? If you provide the same services with the same mediocre customer service, it's not going to do anybody any good, and you're not going to be able to scale that business. You need to provide some aspect of the business that is underserved or underdeveloped within your industry. And then what do you think your customers need? Once again, it falls along the lines of, if the business down the road does the same exact thing, why would a customer choose you over the next business? You need to find some way to put yourself out and separate yourself from the crowd. I have some examples on each of these slides. So this is a website that we developed for a very, very sweet woman. And it's not a traditional website in terms of selling a product or a service. So this is Nadine, a very sweet and soft-spoken woman, and she scaled to a level of social media influence because she loves to bake and share her passions, and she has excellent photography that pairs with it, as well as making YouTube videos. So she needed a place where she could share her creations, videos, and photography surrounding her passion, and she wanted to make it easy for people to connect with her, join in on conversations, and gather inspiration. So this website is geared for as such. As you can see, you don't see a lot of, call now, buy now, contact us. It's primarily pointed to direct people to her other social media platforms. So it's primarily a hub for her to share her information and for people to discover her passion. Next question is, examining your competitors. Honestly, this is one of the most important things when you're constructing a business, because you need to know what's being done and what you can do better than those competitors. So it should be your biggest research factor. So when looking at your competitors, how do you feel about those companies as a consumer? Not as a competitor, look at it as a consumer. How do you want your customer to feel about your company? Do you want them to feel inspired, empowered, or fear? There are quite a few companies where they are fear-based, where, do this or this could happen. A lot of times we see that in terms of in the medical industry, do this or, you could fall ill. There's very, very different ways that companies can approach different things. However, a lot of them usually stay on the more positive side just because it's easier to uphold and upkeep that. Looking at different companies, why did company XYZ fail? What did they do? How did they approach their customers? What was their marketing like? A lot of this stuff is public information, and you can just dig into your research a little bit and find out, okay, so I see that they did this and this, then they went bankrupt a few months later, or why did this company succeed? Our hardest lessons have usually already been learned by somebody else. So just paying attention can really save you a lot of trouble and stress. So, looking at those competitors is a huge key in which we do before we even start any project, especially search engine optimization. We need to know what those competitors are doing, where they are lacking, and where they're doing well. It just comes up with a better strategy for you to succeed in your market. So this radon company right here, we developed a website for, and they were watching another out-of-state radon company. So they weren't direct competitors, but they were watching that company be successful. They were offering free radon tests to residential clients, as well as publishing it everywhere on their website that makes it easily accessible to those people that they don't even know what radon is, but the real estate agent told them that they needed to check for it. So having a lot of accessible resources was very beneficial for them. So that's what we emulated on their website. And at the end of the day, you think, okay, offering a free radon test, how is that beneficial to the client? Well, if somebody gets a free radon test, they test positive for that radon, they already have a connection to a radon company, so it's a no-brainer. So it's that simple little sacrifice of maybe, $30 that company was willing to do in order to get that larger project. And that's different things that he was looking into that market and he saw that company doing successfully. So it's just a valuable asset to them of taking that small sacrifice for that larger gain. They also offer cost-effective real estate testing for real estate agents. And we also developed a pamphlet or a flyer for them that they would then go in person to these real estate offices within their service areas and hand deliver this pamphlet. So then that real estate agent, when the time comes, when they need a radon testing company, they are there to provide. Another question to ask is, where do you want to go with your future of your business? So where do you want to be with your company in 5 years? Do you want to be entirely remote with your services? Do you want to sell franchise licenses? Do you want to hand it off to a manager of your company so you don't have to work in the business, but you can work on the business? Okay, how can you encourage repeat customers, AKA loyalty? This goes back into how you want your customers to feel, and that is a punctuation on that as you continue thinking about that customer journey. How can you build trust and confidence? So then also, how can you punctuate on what you're doing right now? What is already being done so you can do it and better scale your business? You don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. Maybe you just take some small improvements. So this client right here that you see, it is actually 2 different businesses, but it's the same client. The main practice was a dental practice that was also performing tongue and lip ties for infants and adults. Both services are at the same location, but the owner wanted a separate website because of the very separate services and the separate clients that come in that need it. While they are very similar, there takes a lot of resources and education that goes between the tongue and lip ties. So the business owner planned ahead, and she was actually blogging on her dental clinic website about those tongue and lip ties. She was collecting information and resources. So when the time came and she was ready to build this additional website that focused on the tongue tie and lip release, she had all the content right there, and we just had to make it look good. So it's all about envisioning where your business could go in that future and how you're going to scale it. Or if you want to scale it, that's okay too. If you want it to stay small and just, very small operation, that's perfectly acceptable. But if you want to grow and you want to scale, there needs to be some plans for that future. So you're setting yourself up now for that success later. Your target market. Once again, one of the most important things. One of the big things you need to know is, where does your ideal client spend their time? Are they in Facebook groups? Are they on Google? Are they not online at all? All of this will affect your marketing efforts and can help you strategically place where you want to put your marketing dollars so that you're in front of your ideal client and not just trying to cast a wide net without having any idea of where it's going to land. So what is valuable to your ideal clients? What's their priority? Are they busy, so they need quick and efficient services? Or do they need to be educated through the process before making a choice? How will they find you? How do they communicate with you? So are your ideal clients, will they be searching for your products and services on Google, maybe social media? Are they influenced by online influencers or ads? Is it a vicinity thing, your geographical area? Or is it somebody that they trust, so word of mouth? This example I have shown you here is home drywall and painting. The owner began as a teenager, drywalling for years until he consistently kept seeing in the industry done incorrectly. He started his own business with the goal to do things right, on time, on budget, and on schedule. Over the years, he has collected so many reviews that have attested to exactly that, eventually becoming so large he doesn't have time to work in his business, but he can work on it, constantly curating new ideas of how he can better serve his business and get the name out there and in front of the right people. Regardless if you see his paid ads come across his website in organic searches, or if he's having seen one of his team members out in the field, the brand messaging and image remains the same. A trusted name for getting the job done right and on time with excellent communication and a respect for the spaces they work in. So just an excellent example of how a business can scale and grow if they're being put into the right places. A lot of times, as you can see here, we have his website, we have his Google My Business profile postings, we have his Facebook as well as his Facebook posts. A lot of their business comes from those Facebook groups where people are asking for services such as his. They are also on Google. Another thing to keep in mind as a small business, especially in the trades industries, is if you're a one-man operation, one man or one woman, and you are putting ads out and you're investing in those paid advertising, a lot of those trades industries, people are calling and they want a bid right now or to be scheduled right now. Otherwise, they're going to be probably calling around, or regardless, they're going to be calling around for multiple bids. So you need to be able to answer that client ASAP. So with an industry such as that, it's beneficial to put your money towards an employee that can answer the phone and get those answers right away for those clients. It's all about knowing what your ideal client wants, where their priorities lie, and how they're going to find you and how you can best serve them. And that is honestly one of the most important things when you're dealing with your business is your clients, naturally. So developing a voice. So how do you want your clients to see you? Do you want to be polished and professional? A lot of businesses that come to mind when I think of that is lawyers. They want them to be polished, professional, just not quite as that friendly, we're your best friend type of thing. They want somebody that knows their stuff. Or do you want to be fun, trusting, and their friend? Very different styles, both effective in their own way, but that's something you need to decide, so then you're intentional about coming across that way. How do you want your clients to feel after buying your products or services? There are many ways to be perceived, and according to the personality and standard of the business that you want to be held in, it dictates how you present. So do you want your clients to be empowered, relieved, excited? Definitely take that into consideration when creating your content. How do you want to be remembered after a client has met or used your business? For example, I saw Paul Bunyan's Plumbing as well as Blue Ox Heating and Air on the same truck. And naturally, we know Paul Bunyan and I think it's Blue Babe are a legendary story in Minnesota. And the thing is even though I didn't use those services, I still remember that. It was 2 months ago. Granted, I do have my design background that I was so impressed with how well it was done, but I was inspired and intrigued, and they're now stuck in my mind. I was inspired by what I saw, and that was just a truck. So it's all about that impact that you want to have for your business. So the example I have here is this moving company. The owner understands how intimate it is to trust strangers moving all of your valuable belongings. He truly embodies his brand message of a great home move by ensuring his staff are well trained to ensure not only the items make it on time to the right place, but also the client feels they are supported and their spaces are respected. From meeting the owner all the way down to his staff, they are all on brand and really cause you to remember them. So going beyond the logo, a lot of businesses, they have a logo, but they don't have much beyond that. And that is what we're hoping to increase on today. The logo is often likely the first thing people may see, but we don't want it to be the last. So here's a commercial cleaning company we developed all the way up from the logo to the website and soon digital marketing. They wanted to be professional, but not stuffy, with a versatility to cater to any commercial need, whether the business was large or small. So you can see that all the way from the logo to the website, the branding is consistent and it's all connected. Skipped a couple. So optimizing your website, things to include. Keywords, keywords, keywords. I'm sure we've all heard that term and we are not entirely sure what it may mean. Really, it's the words that you're going to get found for when you're talking about your services or what you provide. So do your research. There are plenty of resources out there that you can utilize to show what's ranking, what people are searching for. Be specific with it. I like to think of this analogy. My grandmother always asks her grandkids for a Christmas list. So one thing I've been eating lately is a crock pot. So I ask for a crock pot. You know what I get? Socks. Why, you may ask? Well, I just asked for a generic thing and there's so many options out there. What is she supposed to get? She gets, she's unsure if I'm going to like the one that she gets. So she gets me something safe, which are socks. Nothing wrong with socks. I love socks. But if you then go ahead and I ask for a small crock pot with 3 heat settings and, oh, here's a link to one that I like, that's what I get. Think about grandma as the search engine. You need to be specific in asking what you want to get found for because your clients are going to be specific in what they're asking for. Naturally, yes, always having those overhead terms is a very good idea. However, there is so much competition for those generic terms that you want to be making sure that you are specific and keeping in mind something that your client is going to be looking for. So keeping your demographic on top of mind is very important. Also, one of the main differences with past SEO practices and now is the Google algorithm has changed 4 times this year alone. So keyword stuffing is no longer as effective as it should be. So you want to stay natural with your language on your website and be including those keywords into your language of your website without it sounding spammy or just stuffing as many words in there as possible. Frequently asked questions. These are an excellent way that you can use your keywords on your website and have those exact questions your clients are asking. We actually have a strategy where we put an FAQ section on every single page of the website because people have different questions about the different aspects of the website. It's a natural keyword stuffer, so it's a no-brainer that you should have this on there, as well as you're educating your clients when they come across your website as well, providing that you are, and proving that you are a trusted and credible resource. Number 3 is locations. If you're location specific, sometimes you may be a business that is nationwide or worldwide. Locations might not be as a viable option for you, but a very good term to keep in mind whenever you are marketing, if you're not that location specific, is the keyword near me. Near me is very powerful. A lot of times I know every time I search something, I'm always looking near me because I'm not looking for a specific city unless I'm traveling. I am looking for something that is quick and close to me. So location pages are an excellent way that we have discovered that we can have all the services listed as well as having it linked with a certain location. Now you have your main homepage, and that's more generic, has all the services listed, not really tied to a key location. Maybe your main location of maybe where your office is located or where you service, but then you make duplicates of that and duplicate that and change out those keywords. You need to change out the copy as well. But that is a strategy that you can utilize to enable to get those locations incorporated into your website so it'll show up on those search engines. You just need to change your content so it's not duplicated. Google does not like that. So 4, calls to action. You need to have them everywhere. One button at the bottom of the page is not going to be enough. I had a resource, educational resource where I learned that treat people like they're 10. You need to tell them what to do. Even if you think that it is way overdone and it's, like, okay, I think they're tired of me telling them to contact us, but you want to tell your audience what you want them to do. Make it clear. Don't allow them to have any question in their mind of what they need to do and how they need to do it. And that's something that you need to include everywhere in your website. So really, when they need the time to contact you or do the action that you want them to do, they know exactly how to find it, where to go about it. Number 5, images and clear headings. People are skimmers these days, short attention spans. You need to have clear headings with describing whatever that paragraph is about, because the likelihood of somebody reading that paragraph rather than skimming it is not very likely. If somebody wanted to read a research paper, they'd go read a research paper. They don't want to read a website that is just stuffed to the brim of just words. Throw some pictures in there. Those are also a great SEO tactic, and where you can use the alt tags and label that photo with your keywords and key locations. Also, contact. So knowing your ideal audience is really going to be helpful in knowing what method of communication that your clients would like. So whether it's a contact form where you get back to the client, whether it's a phone number and somebody can just click and call you right away, you provide the address, your physical address where they can visit your office or your space, or email address, your social media. Depending on your industry and your ideal clients and how they like to be contacted, usually it's a generational thing, is very valuable to you, so you know how you can best provide that communication aspect. And it also just depends on your industry, but it's all about knowing that those ideal clients. So you want to create a consistent message overall. It has to be strategic, where every element should support an overall message and business goal. And that spans from your company name all the way to the style and tone of your copy, to the look and composition of your products or how your services are presented and your social media presence. Here, we've gotten quite a few compliments on this website, and it's an outdoor services. Somebody said, how can you make mowing lawn look good? And that's just something, in taking a little bit of creativity with it and then incorporating it all the way across the entire digital presence. So you see their website here, also on their Facebook page, which actually I'm very proud to say is not something that we specifically did, but they took the inspiration from the background of their website that we did develop. Even though it may not be the polished professional, but it is still on brand. They still got the idea, they understood the message. And then you see here, these are also some Google My Business posts that were published on their Google My Business profile that you can see each of those things separately, but they all connect back and they're all unified in their message. So your online presence should be ingrained in your website, Google, social media, your email campaigns, your advertisements. Your content should be identifiable even if your name or logo is not present, like I showed you in one of those first slides with Apple and Target. One thing to keep in mind, if you're just starting out as a business, keep it simple, silly. That KISS, keep it simple. It really shouldn't have to be reinventing the wheel every single time. It's all about just having some place to start and building a foundation in which you can build off of. Now, that is the end of my presentation, but I do want to mention a few things. We are running a giveaway to thank our clients and give back a little bit. We are offering a free website design plus 1 year hosting for people that follow these instructions. So it is a giveaway. In order to qualify, you have to like the giveaway post on the social media platform of your choice, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Comment and tag 3 small businesses or friends. Follow our profile, whatever media platform of your choice, and then share the post and make sure to tag us in it. We are doing this giveaway live January 31st. So if you'd like to get added, I will actually include the links to those social posts on those separate platforms where you can then enter in. Whether you want to enter in for yourself, enter in for it to gift to someone else, or if you just want to send that information to somebody else in your network that might find this valuable or useful. We are also on plenty of social media, which segues perfectly. We are everywhere from Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and most recently Pinterest. So you can follow our social media platforms. TikTok is really great for finding out new tips and tricks on the marketing and branding side. And thank you. I appreciate your time today and taking the time to listen to me go off on my tangent. But if anybody has any questions directly related to their business where it's very specific, I would love to schedule a consultation, and I provided that link in the chat as well. So I'd love to meet you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Laurel. That was wonderful. Really well done. And also, not only was I entertained, but I learned a lot.
Perfect.
That's a high compliment. I'm going to stop the recording here real quick.
Of course. And I'm going to put my links in there. I got a few requests for those links right away. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those.